Hey guys, how's it going? So I've been using the Mi Note 10 for a little over a week now. Here are my thoughts. So this is the first time I'm actually using a Xiaomi device. In fact, the only things I have ever used on this channel in terms of phones is Samsung, iPhone, OnePlus, and Google Pixel. I'm always excited to try out new phones from other companies, and this one is definitely it. The phone comes with 6 gigs of RAM, the Snapdragon 730G, 128 gigs of storage, and a massive 5,260 milliamp hour battery. Now, the first thing that caught my eye with this phone is obviously the 108 megapixel camera. Considering how most other phones have 12 megapixels or maybe some of them have 16 megapixels, obviously 108 megapixels definitely stands out. I mean, just take a look at this photo. This is 108 megapixels. Looks pretty good, right? Now, let's zoom in. And let's zoom in some more. And one more time. Just for an example, this is what the iPhone 11 Pro looks like zoomed in as far as the Xiaomi device was. The difference is pretty massive. Now, the biggest downside to that amazing 108 megapixel photo is that the sides begin to be a little bit blurry. I did a dedicated 108 megapixel video. Click here somewhere up here and you will see that video for yourself. The sides of the photos do get blurry, so you're not getting the full 108 megapixels throughout the entire photo. While we're on the subject of cameras, there is actually a neat little feature called vlog mode. To activate vlog mode, all you gotta do is open up the camera application, go to video, and go right up ahead. You'll see that little V icon. You click it, and then that will create little short like movies of your day or whatever you're doing in a vlog format. It's a neat little thing if you want to post to like Instagram or something, maybe Twitter, but I mean the practical use is kind of really minimum because the videos are very short. Speaking of video, the video recording capabilities of this phone is pretty decent. It's nothing too alarming. For example, if you start recording using the main lens, you cannot switch between all the lenses while you're recording the video. So if you see something that's cool that's far away, you have to stop recording and then choose either the 2x optical or the 5x optical and then begin recording again. Video quality is 4K 30 on the rear and the front is 1080p 30. Yeah. Like I said, it's nothing too breathtaking. It does the job though. But guys, before we continue, I want to talk to you guys about the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community filled with thousands of classes covering dozens of creative and entrepreneurial skills. Whether you want to fuel your curiosity, creativity, or even career, Skillshare is the #1 spot to go. Maybe you want to learn how to start a new YouTube account and you want to learn how to edit a video. With Skillshare, you get very basic videos to the more advanced videos to help you with your needs. My personal favorite is from Benjamin Halsell, How to Edit Using Final Cut Pro. Skillshare also offers a premium membership which has access to over 29,000 classes for just under $10 a month. And since Skillshare is sponsoring today's video, you guys get 2 free months by just clicking the link in the description. Nothing else is needed. So try Skillshare today. So the second thing that popped out at me about this phone is the build quality. From the curved display to the magnificent back of the phone to those crazy looking cameras, oh, and not to mention the headphone jack, which is long gone in many phones, but it's still here today in the Xiaomi Mi Note 10. The weight of the phone is pretty hefty for some people, so if you don't like weighty phones, this phone may not be for you. It does come in at 208 grams, and I think the iPhone 11 Pro is around 225 grams, 230 grams. So it's considerably lighter than the iPhone 11 Pro, but then again, the iPhone 11 Pro is a pretty hefty device. So after setting up the phone and going to the home screen, I was actually pretty shocked that this phone does not have an app drawer. Now, I know they're gonna release an update to allow for an app drawer, but at the moment, you got pretty much what the iPhone has, just columns and rows of apps. To me, that's pretty surprising because this is the first Android device that I've tried that does not have a dedicated app drawer. And that's kind of a bummer because I have a ton of apps on my home screen that I just don't want to be on the home screen. Now, the user experience of this phone is different. It for some reason, I don't know why, maybe I'm doing something wrong, you guys tell me, but it stutters and lags way more than any other Android device that I have tried. I don't know if it's the software issue, I don't know if maybe the Snapdragon chip just isn't that powerful enough to carry the phone, but I can't reenact it. It just, the stutters and lags happen just randomly from scrolling or taking a photo or anything like that. It does, you know, you do notice quite a bit of a lag and stuttering just by using the phone as you normally would day to day. For the price, I do kind of wish this did have at least a Snapdragon 855 or an 855 Plus. I mean, I got this for around $550. For 50 bucks more, you know, you got the OnePlus 7T, which starts at $600. It has the 855 Plus in it. It also has UFS 3.0 storage in it and 90 hertz display in it. You know, it has all these things going for it, and this phone is $50 less, and it's missing all of that. So I wish they kind of made it up with at least better specs. Now, the main drawback of the actual Snapdragon chip is the camera. Whenever you take a 108 megapixel image, it takes the phone about 6 to 7 seconds to fully process that image. And then anytime you zoom in, it has to reprocess the image to get you that full resolution. For me, I don't really care. I mean, I don't really see myself taking 108 megapixel photos as my, you know, main kind of photo taking device, if that makes sense. You know, if I'm gonna take a quick photo, I'm just gonna use the normal photo option and not the 108 megapixel option. So for me, it's not that big of an issue, but it's obviously a limitation of the Snapdragon 730G chipset that's in this phone. The screen of the Mi Note 10 is great. Colors are fantastic. Watching movies on this is pleasant, and the curved display, although I'm not the biggest fan of curved displays, this one does it pretty good. I have no accidental touches, and the distortion isn't that bad. I think the OnePlus 7 Pro for me created a bigger distortion simply because the curve was more sharp, I guess, if you want to say like that, on the OnePlus 7 Pro as compared to this phone. Now, another downside from what I noticed, again, I don't know anything about Xiaomi. You guys told me to buy this phone, so I did, with doing zero research. I'm like, oh, this came out a month ago. Not bad, I'm gonna get it. Yeah, no one told me this does not have stereo speakers. This only has one bottom firing speaker. This thing right here, the speaker, the headpiece, it doesn't act like a speaker, so you can only make calls through it. So if you're watching YouTube videos, listening to music, it's only coming out of the bottom firing speaker. Again, $550. Let that sink in for a little bit. By the way, the OnePlus 7T for $50 more has dual speakers. Oh, and it also has 90 hertz display. Let's continue. So as I've said before, this phone has a massive 5,260 milliamp hour battery on paper. But in person, in real life, I was getting about 6 hours to 6 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time, which isn't bad by any means. That's a pretty normal screen on time for everyday phones. But this is 5,260 milliamps. This thing should last, with proper optimization, obviously, this thing should last way more than that. So Xiaomi, you guys need to kind of update, or not update, but optimize your devices a little bit more, because there's no reason 5,260 milliamps should not last 9 to 12 hours of screen on time. I mean, no one's really gonna use that in a day, but I mean, I hope not. But it should at least last that. Now, in good news, the battery charging speeds is really good. Again, 5,260 milliamp hours. In 30 minutes, you can expect to get somewhere between 55 to 56% of battery. And then this phone 0 to 100 is about 1 hour and 6 minutes. Now, if you guys are paying attention, that's almost similar to the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which has like 1,000 milliamp hour less of battery. But obviously the downside of that is that this thing heats up so bad when you're charging it. This thing, it literally gets hot. You know, but that's to be expected. So I'm not blaming them. I mean, you're charging a battery that massive, that quickly, it's gonna heat up. Now, the next thing I want to mention about this phone, and I promise I'm not trying to make this phone look bad. It's not bad, it's just overpriced. But the haptic engine on this phone, oh boy, it's bad. It's really bad. Like, you guys know, whenever you type on a Pixel device or an iPhone device with Google Keyboard, because the iPhone keyboard doesn't have haptics for some weird reason, but whenever you use an iPhone, the haptics are nice, strong, and punchy. It, like, every time you make a haptic, it vibrates nice, strong, and short. It's just right straight to the point. With this phone, I type so fast that the vibration is almost not, is continuous. It's just one long vibration, because the vibrations on this phone, the haptics, are not nice, you know, short and punchy. They're just very long and mushy. It just feels very weird. Now, I've heard about this from many other people using Xiaomi devices, so I wasn't that surprised about it. But when I started to type on this phone, I mean, I had to turn off the haptic engine, because it's such a weird feeling, because I'm used to the Samsung haptic engine, which is much better. I'm used to the Pixel, I'm used to the iPhone haptic engine, and the iPhone still today has the best haptic engine, period. And going from that to this I had to turn it off. I mean, even the $400 Pixel 3a has better haptics. So this phone is pretty good. You know, I think it's overpriced. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's overpriced. I think if it was $450 brand new, you know, I could be like, yeah, okay, what else do you want? But, you know, hovering around $550, close to that OnePlus 7T level, that's kind of a, you know, that's tough. Especially with OnePlus, you get up-to-date, you know, Android updates. Like OnePlus 7T now has Android 10. This doesn't. So if you guys are looking to pick this phone up, I would suggest wait a couple months until the price drops, or you can just buy it used right now. So what do you guys think about the Xiaomi Mi Note 10? Do you have it? Do you like it? Are you thinking about getting it? Are you not sure? Did you see this review and now you don't want to get it? Or did you see this review and now you want to get it? Let me know in the comment section down below. So this was Mark from Mark's Tech. Adios.